Yes.
Going live in three,
Here.
2, 1.
Woohoo! We're live.
We're live and we're kicking it off with some jungle sounds. Jungle sound, Hawaii.
Woo!
I'm
gonna
very
right
grateful to
now.
I'm very grateful to be here with my friend Ioana, all the way from Canada. And we are here to celebrate May. Ioana, what's the word you have for May? What's your word for May?
Joy.
Yeah, I like that. Joy. Mine would be celebration and play. So we're gonna play in May. How's that?
Yes, happy May.
Ioana is, first of all, my wonderful Canadian friend, and friendship doesn't know borders. We met, I don't even remember how we met. We met somehow like 2 years ago during CanFit Pro. So thank you, CanFit Pro, for creating some incredible connections. And Ioana is a creator of Kilani dance, which I'm fascinated about, where she brings the wisdom of Polynesian culture into this modern movement environment. That's the only one part, how I can describe you in short, but I hope you're going to expand on this a little bit more. Plus, she's an author. Do you have your books around to show us your books?
I coincidentally do. I just happen to have them here.
I love that.
I just happen to have my 2 books here. Spread Alofa and the Bliss Buzz.
And they are available on Amazon. And there's more wisdom of your indigenous culture there. Is that correct? And Alofa.
Inspired by it, yes.
Inspired by it. All right, so let's bring us up to speed with your recent trip to Hawaii, which just happened. Actually, you were so lucky to get there before you were there pre-quarantine, just in December. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that trip.
Happy to. So first of all, thank you so much, Yuri, for having me on your magnificent show about thriving and aliveness, and it's beautiful, and I'm so happy to be here, and you are just the best ever, and I love you so much. I'll get that out of the way. Our trip, I'll try to summarize because my problem is that I like to talk so much about it. I'll make it brief. It was very life-changing for us. We are from the island of Samoa, which is a neighboring island to Hawaii. Hawaii is our neighbor. And my mother, who is from a royal family in Samoa, so she's the daughter of a paramount chief of one of the regions, wanted my children, so I have 3 daughters, ages 16, 13, and 6, to be connected more to the culture. They've been to New Zealand, but she wanted them to have a little bit more of a cultural experience. We traveled to Hawaii. We stayed right next to the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is where my auntie works, and she's a huge part of it. It was so magnificent because we got to experience not only the culture of our island of Samoa, but also the islands of all the South Pacific. In the Cultural Center, they have it split up into different centers and different islands, and you get to have a hands-on experience. So you play with the instruments, you talk to the people, you experience the dance, and it's so magical and beautiful and grounding. We got to hang out with family members that my mother hasn't seen since she was a child. I got to meet family members that I've never met before. My children got to experience what it's like to live in Polynesia, which is very much what inspired Kilani, as we'll talk about later on. And a huge part of the trip was a photo shoot, which you've probably seen on my profile pictures all over the place.
Hello, those are incredible pictures. I think, you know how we say one picture says 1,000 words? That is the picture that just describes a lot of it.
It's exactly what it was. It was a very much a legacy and heritage photo shoot. So it was 3 generations, my mother, myself, and my 3 daughters. It was shot by a Hawaiian photographer by the name of Mapuana Reed. All the clothing that you see us wearing is very traditional clothing. It represented so much more to me than I ever thought or imagined, because even though I am part Samoan, I'm also part, which many people may not know, Lebanese, Turkish, Egyptian, and Greek. So I spent my whole life kind of conflicted with this whole, do you have to be pure anything to belong to something? This photo shoot made me realize, Yuri, even though it may have just seemed like a photo shoot, that my heart is what tells me when I'm connected to something. It doesn't have to be what's on my passport or what's on my birth certificate. It's where my heart is grounded to. And that was the most powerful part of our trip, because we all connected that way. My children got to experience what it's like, what Samoa means, the traditional of Samoa, and how people connect to each other, and community and humanity and all of that. So it was a magical trip in every possible way. And I spent New Year's on the beach. So there's that too. It's beautiful.
I'm just so fascinated by this. And like you said, it's not just the identity of that culture, right? That streams wisdom inside of you, but there's so much behind that we don't always realize about those cultures, right? Like, at least me coming from the European part of the world and sometimes relating to to those roots, I'm remembering the myth and deep rooted spiritualities that is there that we don't always identify with, but suddenly, right, it comes up and we're like, wow, I have this heritage. And somehow we just get so wrapped up in doing everything that we do that we forget that. And when we remember, we really get so nourished by that, right? So inspired. In few words, can you describe or can you relate? So when I get to, and I'm blessed to be able to travel around the world from places to places, do you experience some type of shift of energy or shift of frequency when you come from the land of Canada that has really beautiful vibration there, when you land, let's say, in the United States, or when you land on the beautiful islands of Hawaii? Like, do you feel there's a like sudden shift within something?
I love I love that you asked that question. 100% yes. The first time, so I lived in Samoa when I was a teenager, and then I went back in 1999, and I went from Lebanon or New Zealand to, I don't remember where I came from, but anyway, I remember clearly, Yuri, stepping off the plane, and the moment I am not exaggerating, the moment my feet hit the ground, it was like those sci-fi movies where you feel that like that surge of energy that you can't explain it. My words and my actions maybe will explain it a little bit.
Goosebumps. I could just feel it. I just felt it. It's like goosebumps. Or like, yes, it's electrifying.
Yes, 100%. You know, some people say, well, a beach is a beach is a beach. It's not. The energy, the mana of the island, that's what they call it, the mana, the energy of Hawaii, of the Polynesian islands, I connect to in a way that's more profound than anything. Like, I'm shaking while I'm talking about it than I can possibly put into words. So absolutely. And I'm nomadic like you. I've lived all around the world, and I see and I appreciate the beauty in every single part of this beautiful, gorgeous planet. However, with Polynesia, there's something different that happens deep within the parts of my soul that I can't even explain. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes.
Yeah, okay, so I love how this goes, and thank you, Mana. Thank you, the Polynesian spirit that's coming through. Can you tell us a little bit more about Mana? Because as I'm just reading this and this beats and that bits of information come through, that I'm understanding that so many different indigenous cultures, like I'm very connected to East because that's where I lived for like 10 years, in China and Vietnam. They have the idea of like energy of the place, feng shui, right? So that's why we have feng shui, and we arrange different pieces of nature around our living environment in specific structures so that we feel the flow of energy. And so as I'm hearing, as I'm also reading something about the Polynesian culture and Hawaii specifically, that there are these terms that in English we don't specifically have those words, and we like say energy, and everybody's like, oh, energy, so woo woo. But all those cultures, they're so related to this deep understanding, and not just understanding, but practical implications of those terms. So mana, what else? So mana, explain us what mana really means so that we get
mana is an actual you hit the nail on the head. It's perfect. Mana is a Hawaiian word, actually. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the word is in Samoan, in my Samoan language. I just know more about mana than I do about our island. Mana is the energy that comes from the earth, from humanity, from everything. So it's kind of like a surge that you get from the planet. So it's not only nature, it's, I mean, you can have mana. We're all connected. So I guess the best way that I can explain mana is connection, and which is exactly what I'm about. And that's not just like, oh, we're connected, we're holding hands. You know this. I don't have to explain it to you. It's this deep energy that you can't explain, that we are all connected, whether you think about it or not, whether you realize it or not. Like, you're so deeply connected to that magical tree. I remember when you were interviewing last week, she made a comment about it, and it's true. There's so much mana that comes out of the earth. So in Polynesia, we have a very profound and deep reverence for nature, and we have a respect for it, to the point where, for example, you need to be humble when you're in nature. So it's actually frowned upon in some parts of Polynesia. Like, I remember when I went back to my island in 1999, we were told we're about to visit an island, and they said that on that island specifically, the goddess that's there does not like it when you show your hair. So you have to cover up your hair, you have to cover up your body, you have to be humble. So there's that kind of, it goes very, very deep into it. So it's almost like there's another person. It's not just nature, as you say, you know, they call it Mother Nature, or there's different entities that are described for nature. But with us, it's so much more than that. So there's a very powerful connection and reverence. And that's what the mana is, the energy that you get. So you respect the land. You don't litter, you don't harm the land. You don't harm the land. You respect the land. It's part of us. So all of that.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I think hopefully we get to understand this a little bit more during this process, when we are pausing and seeing how land is renewing itself, how she literally comes to a balance when we are not interfering, when we are not interrupting. And maybe we are learning again how to respect land, because, you know, with all of that unnecessary, like even littering, right? Some of that littering is so unnecessary just because we wanted to use something, and then we don't have enough knowledge of recycling or reusing that. We just throw it and we forget the respect. So I'm hoping that this is what we are learning through this process, learning how to be with ourselves by ourselves, and also how to really connect with nature, because there is so much, but that connection is definitely happening through reverence, through this respect. Tell me, it's interesting, as you were literally yesterday, I was reading this book about Kundalini, but also Kundalini in Earth, how she herself, she has this Kundalini that is traveling from one place to another. And when that shift of Kundalini of Earth is happening from one point to another, we have like some major big shifts in humanity. And it's interesting because that book was written in 2007. And as I'm reading it, it's like 2020. And I'm really feeling how everything is shifting, including her Kundalini, and how we are learning about her a little bit more. Also, to piggyback on what you said about the land, is that we actually know that in genetics, our genes are coded with frequency of land, not only land that we are born with, but also the land of our ancestors, because we carry that blood, right? So you traveling to Hawaii, you'll be like Polynesia, that gene will be just blooming with vitality, right? Like that mana goes right into that gene and it's vibrating. And then I'm sure you traveling to Greece and Lebanon, that parts of your genes will be vibrating. So there's so much we can learn and take in from our land just by traveling and being receptive and being open. So thank you so much for sharing that. So speaking of this time, what is something that this time provided you? Like, what is this time providing you? What are you finding a gift within this period of time?
Absolutely. I mean, stopping, just stopping, pausing, not stopping, pausing, introspection. I'm pretty introspective as a general rule, but being introspective in my space, being out in nature so much more than usual, because I'm usually running around and driving my kids to school and driving here and driving there and driving there and going shopping and doing this and doing that. This has been an amazing time for me to just stop, drop, and go, what is absolutely necessary in my life? What part of the noise absolutely needs to come back? Because I'm also thinking about when we go back, when we are released back into the
Right.
wild, back into the jungle, the concrete jungle.
The wild, you know what I mean?
How much of that did I actually need? So that's been an amazing time for me. I've been really focused on what is the most important thing. I've been reshifting, redesigning. I guess redesigning is probably the best word. I just thought of that now. Redesigning my life to what is the most important, and really streamlining and focusing what I need to be focusing on. So it's been an amazing time of introspection for me, much more meditation, much more connecting with people like you. I mean, we see each other once a year, and that's beautiful and magical. But now I see you every Monday morning at 11:30 for meditation, everybody, live on Facebook. You know, I see Lauren so much more because he's usually on the road as well. I see all the magical people in the universe who I usually kind of hope that our paths are going to cross at the airport in New Jersey.
Yes. Yeah, I
But
like that. How you're saying that before it's just our paths we're crossing, and now it's more about aligning our paths so they go into the same stream rather than having to trust. I like
yes,
that very, very much.
it's beautiful because then you're like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, I love that about this. Oh, I definitely connect to that. Oh, I really definitely do not connect to that. So it's really a time of that and connecting to people on a deeper level and understanding, you know, what kind of vibrations I already knew on an intellectual level, as you talk about all the time. My mind knew who I needed to be connected with, who I wanted to be connected with. But now with this time, my unconscious mind and my soul are being able to talk to me louder. So that volume, I guess that's the best thing. The volume of up there is much louder and the volume of down here is lower, where it's usually the opposite. You're this, you're not that, you're not this, you're not doing this enough. This volume is up. That's probably the best description.
I like that. I like that very much. Yes. So all those things that were on the background right now are coming right in front of us. And it's really up to us if we're going to act on those things that are coming in front of us. And I think having this moment of pause, of this restructuring, really allows us to understand what's in alignment with us. Those things that were in the background, are they in alignment with us or are they not? And do we need to push them aside or do we need to bring something back, like you said, right? There are all of those little elements there. So in terms of self-care, sort of maintaining, I know you have quite big family. I mean, you are my modern day hero. This is like to take care of kids, not only one, but three. This is incredible. So big respect to you there. And how are you taking care of yourself? And how do you take care of your family? Let's start with you taking care of you first, because you can't really take care of others when you're not taking care of yourself.
That's a great question. We decided at the very beginning, I'm going to tie it all together if that's okay with you, because it's all actually, yeah.
Synergy, it all comes together now.
It is. Many people know that we call ourselves the girl village. This is what I call myself. And so we're kind of a microcosm of what I would like the whole world to be like, ideally. We're not separate entities. We're all here working together. So it's not just me doing all the housework or me doing everything. Everyone has their role, as does the entire universe, I believe. So we're very much a village phenomenon here. You know, someone takes care of this and someone takes care of that. I told everyone at the very beginning, when I don't even like to use those words, but when we decided to go on a retreat, on a global retreat, when the whole world decided to stay inside, I said to all my children and my mom, we have actually a little chat session where we talk to each other in case we don't happen to be in the same room, that we all have to have time when we're all together, and we all have to have time when we're apart. It's going to be very valuable. That's a lot of estrogen in our house right now, you know? Three girls, my mom and me. Woo! Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, there's like a feminine mana that comes through. It's powerful, yeah. But it could be a little too much too, yeah.
Yeah. Like you need to air it. You need to open up the windows sometimes because the estrogen needs, you need to get that out. So we decided that we'll do things like, you know, nature walks all together. But I told them all, Mama's going to need to go on solo nature walks. So they know whenever the weather is good. I don't like it when it's cold, so I prefer when the sun comes out. Whenever the sun's out, I'm like, peace, y'all. Mama's going on her nature solo walk. So I do my walks and I'll go for hours. I'll go find a space in nature. I'm not talking like on the sidewalk. I'm talking like in the forest when there's nobody else around. I'll either, think or contemplate or sing, as I sent you a video clip of me, a sound clip. That's another thing. I love music and I love singing. And I've decided, why don't I just write music? And I've been doing that and I've been so inspired, and I've found that a lot of those things get translated onto the paper. So that's a huge part of self-care for me because it's very therapeutic. So I believe that anytime you have something that you're passionate about, you don't have to be perfect at it. And I think that's the fallacy in our world as well, that if you like singing, you're either a singer and you're on, MTV, that dates me, or you're nothing at all. Just sing. If you like to dance, just dance. So dancing, singing, writing music, going out in nature, meditation, all of those things. And then this is self-care for me. Every time I see you, every time I see beings like you, it fills my soul. All of that.
Yes, so many yeses. Yes, 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 yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about because the fear, I think it is a fear of being imperfect right now is emerging so vividly in all of us, and we are all trying to do something about it, right? We're like, oh, how do I look perfect here now? And how do I show my perfect environment, And we're just like, no, you gotta just show what's happening. So singing, were you always singing? Was it something that you did from you were little? Because you have talent, and when I'm listening to you, they're like, you know how to go high and low, and it's just like so natural where you trained, or was it something that you just passionate about?
Singing, first of all, thank you for everything that you said. Singing has been it's part of our culture as well, actually, is a huge part of the Polynesian culture. Singing is in everything that we do, in every single gathering that we have, in every single, we go to, when they go to church, or when we gather at school, we had, I believe, a whole day of the week that was just dedicated to singing. So singing is a huge part of my I know. I have to tell you this. At school, we had like a little hut type structure, and once a week we would all gather under there, and we'd be split up, all the kids in school, into all soprano, alto and soprano, girls and boys, and our teacher would be in the center conducting all of us into different, that was my favorite time of the week. I didn't like sports day, but I loved singing day.
Look how beautifully you merged it. Movement. You made it movement, and it's all beautiful, and it's all, yes. Okay, so that was just something that you've done, bringing it from your childhood.
Yes. However, this fallacy of perfection, or the need for perfection, I always loved to do it. And people told me that I had a good voice, but I thought, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And that stayed with me. That was the neural pathway that was created in my head. You're good, but not good enough. So just stay here. Just stay in mediocre. Don't go there. Don't try to get up on stage. Don't try to make music. And as time has gone on and I've become more mindful and conscious, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get up on a stage. Maybe I'll just grab a pink microphone in front of Facebook Live or Facebook. Maybe I'll just,
So good.
And it's so therapeutic. And then I was like, wait, Ioana. And I think this boils down to everything in life. What is your intention for singing? My intention for singing is that I love to sing. I love the vibrations. I love the therapy of it. I love the way that it fills my soul. It's not for the accolades. The accolades are great. Hey, if you want to tell me nice things, I'm not going to say no to them. I'm going to be like, thank you. But that's not what it's for. So if my intention is for myself and for myself, then why don't I just do it? And so I was like, as time went on, and then that's why this period of retreat has reframed, and I'm on a new neural pathway. I'm like, why didn't I ever write music before? I write books, I write poetry, I can write music, I can go do a melody. And so I did. And I think that that's kind of a metaphor for life in general. Just do it. You don't have to, just do it. Nike said it.
Like, I love when you brought it up from the point of view from intention. What is your intention? Is that whatever you're about to do, singing or writing or teaching or speaking, is it coming from your heart? And because alivens, it's not really a word, but let's use it, alivens your being.
Yes.
And then the moment you feel that connection in your body, you know that this is therapeutic, like you said, because if it's therapeutic for you, it's also going to be therapeutic for others, those who need to hear it, those who need to be watching it. So yes, it's all comes down to us making medicine with our own bodies, with our own voices, with our own eyes and hands, and just fantastic. Love, love, love this conversation. Ioana, can you maybe share, because I know that you're also a big um, advocate for mental health and consciousness and meditation, and I know that you have your style and this beautiful, this spirit of Pacific Ocean comes through you. Not to even mention that usually you guide people in your meditation to ocean. Is that right? A lot of
Yeah.
times. Do you think we could just close our eyes for a few moments and you just take us somewhere?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Okay, all right, we're excited. I'm just going to be bathing here in the sunlight, going on a beautiful journey.
Okay. Eyes open or closed. We're going to be going on an alofa journey, a journey of love. Starting off by taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth or the nose, whatever you're more comfortable with. And just letting that breath flow naturally, like the oceans, like the waves of the ocean. I'm going to have you imagine that water is magic, and this magic is flowing through your body, starting off with your feet, moving up through your legs, taking a pause at your hips where we store so much energy, so much emotion, and maybe just moving your hips around a little bit, flowing like the waves of the ocean. And then making your way up to your belly, feeling the belly rise and fall like the ebb and flow of the ocean. Making your way up to your heart, the source of alofa. And again, like the waves of the ocean, inhale intentionally into this beautiful part of us. And slowly exhale. Moving up to your neck, to the back of your head and around to your face. Taking a deep breath, maybe smiling here, grateful for this moment that we're sharing together. And we're going to go on a little journey together. Imagine yourself on a beach. The sand and the shore are long as the eye can see. There's nobody there on the beach, just you. Look down at your feet. What does the sand look like? Is it white and soft like sugar? Maybe you decide to take off your shoes. If you do, visualize that first moment, your first foot, and then the second foot hit the sand. Feeling the surge of energy from the sand up your feet, up your legs, through your entire body, connecting to the energy of the ocean, of the beach. With your mind's eye, close your eyes. Eye gaze up towards the sky and feel the sun warming your entire being, from your head all the way down to your toes, absorbing every little bit of that ray. Inhale here and slowly exhale. Bring your eye gaze back in front of you. Open your eyes and start to make your way down towards the beach, close to the shore, feeling the breeze blowing through your hair. You notice a sea of beach chairs. They're all empty. Pick one to sit on. Have a seat on that beach chair. Observing the ocean. What does the ocean look like? Is it crystal blue? Is it clear? Watch the waves flowing in and out. And as you close your eyes on your magical beach chair, you feel a sense of peace, of tranquility, of gratitude. As you're sitting there, I'd like to have you imagine all the people in your life that you love. Maybe they're in different parts of the world. Maybe they're right in your neighborhood. Maybe they're right in your home. Bring to mind all your favorite people, or maybe just a few if you have so many. And when you open your eyes, take a look along the beach, and you notice that all those empty beach chairs are filled with the people that you love. Walk over to each beach chair. Envision the person that you love. Really think of them in front of you. And with your arms right now, open your arms really wide and imagine yourselves giving them a huge hug. And then whisper something in their ear. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. You're doing so well. You're so strong. You're so loved. You're so valuable. Everything is going to be okay. Thank you. Move from chair to chair to chair with that same intention. And right before you get back to your chair, you notice that one chair holds a special person. That person is you. Maybe it's your inner child. Maybe it's you right now. Have a seat next to yourself. Look at yourself deep into your heart and tell yourself, I love you. You're doing so well. You're so strong. You're so valuable. You're so loving. I'm so proud of you. I love you unconditionally. Return back to your beach chair. Close your eyes. Feeling peaceful, grateful. Take one last deep breath in. Hold it and slowly exhale. And before you open your eyes, I'd just like to say to you, alofa atu, which means in my Samoan language, I'm sending my love to you. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so refreshing. I literally felt the energy ocean around me, and I'm sitting in the sun, so I'm so hot, but I'm feeling this cool breeze coming over me. And also this energy where I'm right now, there's this indigenous people, Taino people that lived here, and you could really feel their spirit. It's like, oh, this is rich, bring it in. Thank you, that was beautiful. And I know that anyone who just got themselves submerged into this beautiful spirit of Pacific Ocean through Killarney, Ioana, can join your meditation online, right? Is you're teaching weekly. Can you tell us about your schedule
Yes, thank you so
with
much. So,
dance? Well,
yes, so I am teaching all my classes. I'm teaching Killarney guided meditation, Killarney dance, Killarney spirit, my Pilates classes. I put my schedules on my Facebook page, Ioana Aboumitri, on my Instagram page, which is Ioana Aboumitri or Killarney dance. You can find it. I'm going to be updating my website as well with all that information. It's all available everywhere. I do it through Zoom because we're all Zoombies now.
please, yes. And so I think we haven't mentioned what Killarney dance is really about.
Thank you. Thank you.
Few words people can read. Like, I mean, it's incredible. I'm so inspired by what you're doing in terms of movement and combining this knowledge and wisdom into movement. Incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I'll
Tell us a
summarize.
little bit more about Killarney dance.
What's that?
Tell us a little bit more about Killarney dance.
Yeah. Killarney dance is inspired by my Polynesian culture. My whole mission is spread alofa and connection. So alofa is love in my Samoan language, love of unconditional love of each other, of humanity, of community, of nature, of animals, and our higher selves. So I bring that all together in my Killarney form. So Killarney is a Polynesian inspired wellness program based on connection. We have 3 elements in the class. In all my classes, it's based on 3 elements. Number 1, connection to the hips through hip movement, through hip shaking, through all that stuff right here in this area. Element number 2, connection to nature, through movements inspired by nature. So things like the ocean wave or washing our faces. So kind of like moving meditation. And element number 3 is connecting to our higher selves and humanity through guided meditation that is inspired by my island.
Oh, delicious, delicious. I'm just scrolling, finding out if we got any questions. Plenty of comments. Thank you so much for beautiful beings that are watching us. Jeannie, Rocky, Jacob, Lawrence, Polly, Bobby, Rocky, JD. Thank you, Milagros. Thanks so much for watching us, my friends. And make sure to find Ioana on social media, get to her classes, because that's an unforgettable experience, just like our meditation was. And Ioana, thank you so much for this heartfelt connection. And who knows? We might.
Thank you so much. I want to hug you.
Big soul hug, big soul hug. Let me